Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. Today I just wanted to show the swatch sheet that I created for swatching all your acrylic paints. And you could also use it for watercolor paints in the same way. I went online to Arteza. I have this set of 36 metallic Arteza paints, and I do have them on the end. I do put a little bit of it on the end. But I still like having them swatched on paper, and I keep them in a book, and that way I can flip through the book and I can see what the color looks like on paper when it dries, and it just helps me for selecting paints when I do my artwork. So that's one of the reasons why I like to swatch. Some companies carry swatch sheets for their paints. For instance, the Ranger Dina Wakley Media paints like this. If you go onto the Ranger Ink website, there is a swatch sheet that you can download and print, and it already has a square and the name, and you just put a drop of your paint, make a circle out of it, and you can swatch your paints and see what colors they look like. However, some companies don't carry a swatch sheet. Arteza is one of those, and so what I decided to do was to create a swatch sheet that would be generic, and it would work for any of my paints. I have inexpensive paints such as apple barrel paints, and this will work for any of them, from an expensive paint to a more expensive line like a golden fluid acrylic. It would work for anything. So I'm going to offer this sheet, since I've taken the time to create it, I'm going to offer it so that if you have paints and you like to swatch and see what they look like on paper to help you in your artwork, then you can purchase the swatch sheet for just a few dollars, print it as many times as you'd like to swatch all of your paint supplies. And again, you could print it onto watercolor paper, and you could swatch your watercolor paints on this form as well. So what the sheet has is brand, where you would write the brand of the paint that you're swatching, a place where you can swatch the paint, and a section underneath where you can write in the number and name of the paint. The other nice thing about having a blank sheet like this, when you have a full set, like this is the full set of the metallic acrylic paints from Arteza, you can go ahead and put your colors into rows. So there's 7 across, there's 9 rows, and you can put them into rows and put them into colors from light to dark, or however you would like them to look on your swatch sheet. So here's the blues, here's the greens, and I can lay them all out and get them the way I want them before I swatch them onto the swatch sheet. And I chose to put the number off to the left-hand side and the name underneath. So you could do it any way you want. You could write the number in the box, you could write the number first and then the name. I just chose to do it with the number of the product off to the left and the name underneath. So it's a really versatile sheet the way I've laid it out. Here's how it looks with the Arteza metallic paint swatch. So you can see that when they're on paper, this is white cardstock that I printed it out onto. You can really see the colors well, and you can see the iridescent shine to them. So having this in a sheet protector in a notebook will just be great for pulling that out or opening it to that page. When I want to stencil and have something cute and metallic on the page, I'll be able to see what the color actually looks like, so it won't ruin my page. The other day I was doing a stenciling project, and I pulled out some of the metallic paint, and I didn't have a swatch sheet of it, and I just went ahead and used it, and I didn't end up liking what it looked like on the page. So that's why I like to have my supplies swatched. So this is it's a blank generic page for swatching any kind of paint. Again, it can be watercolor paints. If you print it onto watercolor paper, you would just cut your watercolor paper 8.5 by 11, put it in your printer, print it out, and you would be able to swatch out your watercolor color by name and by brand. So see, in the brand I put Arteza acrylic metallics in the tube, because they also come in a bottle, and so I wanted to verify that this was the tube type. So you can make all kinds of notes on this and make it a nice swatch sheet of your paints, and there will be a link in the description box below if you're interested in purchasing this blank paint swatch sheet. And it is a PDF file, so you shouldn't have any trouble printing it. And for those of us who like to swatch, hey, what better than to have a generic sheet that we can use for all the brands across the board. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope you're having fun today making art or swatching your supplies. Art soothes the heart.